Okay, before I get into the review, I want to give a huge thank you to you guys for the insane recognition I've gotten for my RRR review. I uploaded that about a week ago, and it's already almost my most viewed video on my channel. I got like 1,000 views on that in a day. For me, that's crazy. You can say the fact that it's almost the most viewed video on my channel is either impressive or sad. For me, I'll take impressive, and that's all to you guys right there. Seriously, feeling a lot of love in the comments. I love seeing all the likes the videos gain. Really happy a lot of you love seeing me talk about it. I appreciate it. Got a lot of requests to review a lot more of the Indian, Tollywood, Bollywood kind of movies. I will do my best to get around to seeing them at some point in the future. But in the meantime, just had to give you guys a huge thank you for the amazing support you've been giving to my channel for that review. Seriously, I appreciate it. And now, The Invitation is a Gothic romance horror movie. I think that's the best way I could describe it. In this movie, you have this girl, she does one of those, I don't know if it's like a family tree kind of side. She realizes she has like a long-lost cousin family that's in England. Her cousin just so happens to be in town in New York. They meet for coffee, and he says, "Hey, we're having our other cousin get married in London. You should come to the wedding. Everyone would be thrilled to see you." And you know, despite the fact that she is just meeting this guy right now, has no idea who he is, doesn't even know if there really even is a wedding, she's like, "Yeah, you know what? Sure, a stranger who happens to be related to me, I'll go with you to this wedding." Then she goes to the wedding, she meets like the count of the estate that they're in, she starts developing, you know, a romance, a connection with him. However, in the days leading up to the wedding, you quickly realize that there's something fishy going on here, and she probably needs to get the fuck out. Alright, so let me get into something that I liked about this movie. Okay, the leading girl, she was fine. You know, she was likable in this movie. You know, she's friendly, she's outgoing, but she has a little bit of an edge to her. She doesn't take shit from people. You know, the actress does what she needs to do in this movie, and I will give her that. What's her name? Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna look up her name. Because she wasn't groundbreaking in this movie. I don't feel the need to know what this girl's name is so I can scope her out in other movies. Yeah, sorry honey, that's the most recognition you're gonna get on here, but I appreciate you for not sucking. Because the rest of this movie pretty much does. First of all, totally, this movie is completely all over the place. For, I would say, the first maybe 20 minutes of the movie, it is kind of going for a suspense, horror, thriller kind of vibe. You know, right out the opening scene, something creepy and bad happened, and now, you know, we go years later, and this girl is here at this estate. People go into creepy rooms, and, you know, all the candles go out, and something dark is in there, and people are getting killed. And this is when you're starting to look at this girl and be like, okay, you should probably leave the wedding, something's here, you gotta cut. But then after that 20 minutes, it kind of shifts into just being a romance movie between this girl and the guy who runs this estate. There is still a little bit of that Get Out kind of vibe to it, like, you know, some weird things are going on, some people are acting strange, but it really does go for being, you know what, let's just be kind of straight up romance for the second third of this movie, while at the same time trying to have this whole mystery going forward. That's the thing, it's trying to be like a Gothic version of Get Out, but it's nowhere near in the same league as Get Out. Because what Get Out did well, and I'll touch on more of this as we go on, Get Out knew exactly the kind of genre it wanted to be. It was a horror movie, but it was a horror movie that had some comedy and had a little bit of a mystery element to it, and actually it had very much of a mystery element to it. But it knew the pocket it had to stay in. It's like, to our core, we are a horror movie, and we're going to be a horror movie that's going to leave people feeling weird, uncomfortable, disturbed. Right when you get to that house and Get Out, you feel a little bit creeped out the more and more you're there, and you are screaming at Daniel Kaluuya to get out. This movie goes for that vibe, but unfortunately it doesn't know the pocket of the genre to stay in. The movie starts out wanting to be a horror movie, and yes, it has a couple creepy moments here and there, but then it decides, let's be a romance movie. Okay, no, let's go back to being creepy. It's like, okay, no, let's throw love back into the movie. Totally, the movie is completely all over the place, and you have no idea how exactly you're going to follow it. Also, the other thing Get Out did really, really well was the mystery element to it. It's like, you go into this house, you know something's wrong, but you're really not sure what it is. And then, you know, it has its big reveal, and the big reveal is very surprising because it was different, it was unique. You were just like, oh, holy shit, can't say I've seen that before. In The Invitation, if you've seen the trailer, you kind of sense the vibe the movie's going for. And then I'll tell you this much straight up, within the first 20 minutes, if that you are here at this estate with this girl, you, I think, are able to connect the dots, and you realize, like, oh, this is what we're going for. Okay, I've solved it. So I guess that's why I'll also say, after the first, like, 20 minutes of the movie, I may even be being generous there, that's when the thrill kind of went away from me because I knew exactly where it was going. This is not a hard movie to figure out. Like, at some point, it's going to click with you well before it should click with you, and you're just going to be sitting there like, oh, well, now I know how it's going to end and exactly what's going to go down. Nothing ruins a horror movie more than predictability, and this movie is incredibly predictable. So all in all, The Invitation is a very generic horror movie, which is translation for it is not good. Our leading lady does her best, but, well, I don't even know if she did her best. I mean, she showed up, she was fine, she was serviceable, she's like, alright, I'm going to collect my money when this is over, and that's that. But yeah, the movie within about 15 to 20 minutes is completely predictable. You know exactly how it's going to end and how shit's going to go down. Movie has a couple of intense scenes, but they don't really build on them. They don't really keep that train going because they want to be a romantic movie at the same time. Movie follows that trend a lot of horror movies do. It's like, hey, I want to make a really stupid decision and it's going to impact my safety and other people's safety for the rest of the movie. This movie, I guess I was hoping for a more gothic version of Ready or Not. It's nothing remotely like that. It's about as opposite of that as it can be, and thus we have a movie that no one will remember when they look back in 2022. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as always, don't forget to make comments, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.